This is the Terracotta Army, 8,000 warriors buried over 2,000 years ago. One of the greatest wonders of the world.
Deep within the pages of history hides a puzzle that has baffled explorers for thousands of years, the tomb of the powerful Chinese ruler Qin Chin Huang. Lost in the sands of time, this old crypt has kept its mysteries hidden from the world. But after years of tireless research, scientists are finally on the brink of uncovering its secrets and the many untold stories hidden within its chambers. Is the legend as spectacular as they say? The answers are just about to come to light. Foundation of the Qin Dynasty. Qin Shi Huang stood out as a mighty leader in Chinese history, known for founding the Qin Dynasty and becoming the very first emperor of a united China. Born in 259 BCE in the state of Zhao, where his father faced captivity, Qin Chin Huang's journey to power began at a young age. Taking the throne at just 13, he displayed remarkable ambition and a knack for conquering new territories. Guided by his wise advisor Lu Bui and backed by the loyal general Wang Jian, Qin Shi Huang utilized a mix of diplomacy, clever strategies, and sheer force to triumph over the 7 warring states. Starting with Han in 230 BCE, he systematically overcame Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi, achieving the unification of China by 221 BCE. However, Qin Shi Huang aimed for more than just ruling. He envisioned a stronger and more glorious China. Emperor Qin Shi Huang's milestones. Initiating widespread reforms and ambitious projects, he enhanced the empire's administration, economy, culture, and defense. He standardized the writing system, currency, weights and measures, and laws. Additionally, he constructed a network of roads and canals to connect regions, fostering trade and communication. Notably, he commissioned the Great Wall, a massive defense barrier stretching thousands of kilometers along the northern border to safeguard against nomadic invaders. Qin Shi Huang's legacy wasn't just about conquest. It was about shaping a thriving and resilient empire. His price for immortality. Qin Shi Huang was a powerful ruler and deeply intrigued by the unknown and mysterious. He eagerly organized expeditions to explore new lands beyond his borders and sought an elixir for immortality. His obsession with living forever and avoiding death led him to build numerous palaces and gardens for his pleasure. This visionary leader transformed China into a mighty and prosperous empire, achieving remarkable feats during his reign from 221 to 210 BCE. However, his legacy also includes destruction and oppression, such as the burning of books and burying of scholars. This harsh rule led to fear and hatred among many, sparking rebellions against him. Sadly, Qin Shi Huang passed away in 210 BCE during one of his inspection tours. Accidental discovery of Emperor Qin's legacy. Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum was like finding a hidden treasure after thousands of years of it being a secret. It all started in 1974 when local farmers in Yang village were digging a well. To their surprise, they uncovered pieces of terracotta, leading to the first glimpses of what we now know as the Terracotta Army. The farmers, not sure about the importance of their discovery, told local authorities, and it quickly caught the attention of Chinese archaeologists. Further excavations by the Archaeological Institute of Shanxi revealed a huge underground space with life-sized terracotta soldiers, horses, and chariots, all standing as if ready for a battle. This incredible find sparked a worldwide interest in China's ancient history. People from all over the globe traveled to Xi'an to study the site. This interest also boosted tourism, helping the local economy. The Chinese government, recognizing the site's cultural importance, invested in its preservation. In 1987, the mausoleum and the Terracotta Army became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, officially recognizing it as one of the world's greatest archaeological wonders. Construction and capacity of Qin's mausoleum. Now, you might be curious about how such an extraordinary complex was built. There's a haunting theory suggesting over 700,000 people were forced to work on it and faced a tragic fate to keep its secrets hidden. Before exploring this theory, let's understand the mausoleum's immense scale and ambition. Covering an enormous area of more than 56 square kilometers, The mausoleum was a colossal project that took many decades to finish. Thousands of workers, artists, engineers, and craftsmen all played crucial roles in creating the detailed design, inner chambers, and the famous Terracotta Army. Thinking about the size and complexity of the mausoleum, the idea of 700,000 conscripts doesn't sound far-fetched. Historical records, like those from Sima Qian, a grand historian, suggest that such a large number of workers were indeed forced to build it. But why would a ruler go to such extremes, silencing hundreds of thousands? The Qin Emperor's mausoleum wasn't just a grave. It was like an underground kingdom, showcasing his power and the world he had built. This grand vision would likely contain state secrets, clever techniques, and treasures that the emperor wanted to keep hidden. Additionally, the ancient Chinese belief in an afterlife and the wish to protect the journey to the other world played a big role. Keeping the tomb safe was crucial to the emperor, as any leaks about its secrets could jeopardize his journey to the afterlife and the stability of his legacy. The idea of using mass execution to keep secrets is scary, but critics doubt its feasibility. They argue that causing the deaths of 700,000 people would have been a huge logistical problem, causing a lot of chaos. Such a massive act of violence, they say, couldn't have been kept a secret for long. Historical records or archaeological findings, they believe, would have shown evidence of such a horrifying event. Supporters of the theory suggest a systematic and gradual method for mass execution. They propose that groups of workers could have been replaced and silenced after finishing specific parts of the mausoleum. This approach would gradually add up to the large number suggested. It's important to note that the Qin Dynasty was known for being ruthless and having strict rules. The first emperor took extreme actions, like burning books and burying Confucian scholars. Given this history, the idea that he might have executed workers to protect his mausoleum's secrets isn't completely surprising. Zhao, discovery of Terracotta Army. One of the most amazing finds at the mausoleum is the Terracotta Army, considered one of the most astonishing discoveries of the 20th century. It represents the strength, grandeur, and careful work of ancient China. The size of the Terracotta Army is impressive, with over 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots, 520 horses, and 150 cavalry horses in 3 pits. This huge project shows the extensive resources and work capabilities of the Qin Dynasty. Each terracotta soldier stands in perfect formation, creating a grand army ready for orders. What captivates visitors and historians is the incredible uniqueness of each soldier. No two soldiers are the same. Each one has distinct facial features, expressions, hairstyles, and clothing. This attention to detail gives a peek into the impressive skills of ancient Chinese artisans and suggests an efficient production system. Crafted in an assembly line style, different artisans focused on specific body parts. The statues were then personalized with intricate facial features and other details, going beyond just expressions. The soldiers' clothing, weapons, and hairstyles all match their ranks and roles in the army, showcasing the diversity of the army. The soldiers in the Terracotta Army weren't holding fake weapons. They had real, well-made ones like crossbows, arrows, spears, and swords. Surprisingly, some of these weapons are still sharp and in good condition after more than 2,000 years. Recent studies even suggest they might have used a special chrome coating, showing how advanced the Qin Dynasty was in metalwork. The way the army is arranged is interesting too. The 3 pits with soldiers are on the east side of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's burial mound. Historians think this was on purpose, maybe to protect the emperor from potential threats from the eastern states he conquered. The pits are cleverly designed with corridors, walls, and ramps for easy access and movement. The Terracotta Army isn't just about the military, it's a sign of ancient China's smarts and creativity. The Terracotta Army doesn't just talk about a powerful army, it also gives us cool insights into the Qin Dynasty's culture. The soldiers come from different regions and ethnic groups of unified China, showing the emperor's dream of a united empire. Their tools, weapons, and clothes give us a clear picture of the technology, fashion, and lifestyles of that time. Making the Terracotta Army was linked to spiritual beliefs and the emperor's wish for immortality. His strong belief in life after death led him to create an army to go with him, showing he wanted to keep ruling and protect his empire even after he died. The mausoleum complex isn't only for soldiers. It also has entertainers, animals, and other things, revealing the emperor's idea of a complete and independent realm in the afterlife. Near the emperor's mausoleum, archaeologists found bronze chariots and horses. These two complete chariots, discovered on the west side of the famous Terracotta Army, are incredibly detailed and magnificent. Besides looking good, they give us important info about the Qin era's technology, beliefs, and values. A surprising find in the king's mausoleum is the presence of rivers made of mercury. Historical records, especially those by historian Sima Qian, describe the emperor's tomb as an underground palace. The story says the inside of the mausoleum is like the emperor's own world, with stars above and the floor designed like a map of China. The rivers, like the Yangtze and Yellow rivers, were created using flowing mercury, making the emperor's resting place look like a mirrored world of his huge empire. Even though this story was written a long time after the emperor passed away, it gives us a big hint about how rich and grand the emperor imagined his life after death. Nowadays, the idea of making rivers of mercury might seem confusing because mercury is toxic. But in ancient China, especially in alchemical traditions, mercury was seen as special. Taoist alchemists, important during the Qin Dynasty, believed mercury could give long life or even immortality. Emperor Qin Shi Huang's known obsession with living forever, like sending people to find the elixir of life, matches these beliefs, showing he wanted to be an immortal ruler. Presence of the Mercury River. Recent archaeological work supports the idea of mercury rivers under the mound of the mausoleum. Soil samples from around the mound showed higher levels of mercury, with some areas having much more than usual. This finding makes it more likely that there's a real underground palace with mercury rivers waiting to be discovered beneath the tomb. But it also makes us wonder how the ancient artists of the Qin Dynasty got so much mercury, handled it safely in a tomb, and kept it liquid for thousands of years. Among the terracotta warriors and bronze treasures, you'll find statues of unusual animals and special birds. These creatures meant a lot in the Qin Dynasty, and their presence makes this ancient burial site even more interesting. In old China, animals had deep meanings. They were seen as messengers of good luck, symbols of virtues, or thought to have protective powers. Since the mausoleum was not just where the emperor was buried, but also his eternal home, putting these creatures there was on purpose. It was meant to bring protection, prosperity, and importance to the emperor in the afterlife. Horses are particularly special among these symbolic creatures. While the terracotta cavalry and bronze chariots show how important horses were in the military, other horse statues seem more for ceremonies or decoration. Made with great care, these figures look like the special horses Emperor Qin Shi Huang got from all over his big empire. In ancient Chinese culture, horses meant speed, strength, and nobility. Having them in the mausoleum shows that the emperor wanted to rule over the land and journey through his spiritual empire just as energetically in the afterlife. Another interesting thing found in the mausoleum is statues of rare and special birds. In many old cultures, birds were messengers between people and the heavens, showing freedom, rising above, and reaching spiritual heights. In Emperor Shi Huang's mausoleum, these bird statues might have been there to help the emperor talk to the heavens, making sure his importance and messages reached up there. Choosing rare birds also highlights the emperor's big influence, proving that even the trickiest creatures were under his control. Yet, some animals in the mausoleum complex remain mysterious. While some might represent creatures from the regions under Qin's rule, their exact meaning adds an interesting layer to the story of this old burial site. Some creatures in the mausoleum seem to have a more mythical or spiritual vibe. These could be beings from old Chinese stories, thought to have special powers or be omens. Maybe they were put there to give the emperor magical protection, keeping away bad spirits or bringing luck in the afterlife. Another idea is that these statues of unusual animals and special birds show us the incredible variety of animals in ancient China. They make us picture imperial hunts, gifts of unique animals, and the grandeur of the royal collection. Another part, often overlooked but just as interesting, is the presence of acrobats, entertainers, and musicians in the mausoleum complex. Scientists say including them lets us peek into the cultural and fun activities of the Qin Dynasty, giving us a fuller view of what the emperor wanted in the afterlife. In old China, like in other places back then, entertainment was highly valued. Music, dance, acrobatics, and different kinds of fun were big parts of courtly life, playing important roles in religious events, parties, and royal feasts. Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who brought together the warring states and made the Qin Dynasty, probably had the best entertainers to amuse him and his court. It makes sense he'd want to take these joys with him into the afterlife, making sure he had an eternity full of happiness and art. A stunning bunch of weapons was found not just with the Terracotta Army but all around the big tomb place. There were all sorts of weapons like crossbows, daggers, and halberds that showed off how skilled the Qin artists were at making metal stuff. Some of these weapons had fancy designs, and others had words on them that tell us where they were from and what they were for. One really interesting thing about the tomb is that there's still more stuff waiting to be found. Sophisticated machines like ground, penetrating radar tell us there might be more rooms inside the tomb. These rooms could have the emperor's body and his cool stuff. But people are kinda scared to dig it all up because in Chinese culture, they respect the dead. Messing with the final resting place of important folks, like Emperor Qin Shi Huang, isn't just seen as a physical no-no, but also a spiritual one. The place where the emperor is supposed to chill in the afterlife is important to their beliefs. So, cracking open a room might mess up the peace and order of the emperor's forever home. Old stories from history guy Sima Qian tell us about the inside of the tomb. He says there are traps in there to stop tomb raiders. Some of these stories might be made up, but there could still be surprises waiting. Since we don't know exactly how the tomb is laid out and what dangers might be there, people are scared to mess with it. The secrets of the tomb, hidden by history, are still a big mystery that's got everyone curious.